the search process, is important, and be able to, find those missing children or be able to find an indication of what happened to them is a journey that needs to be taken. And, our survivors are always, trying to find the answers to where they might be. I think it's an honor, it's an opportunity to honor, the truth of the survivors and commemorate the lives of the children that never came home. I think, taking the time that we're doing now in finding and in searching is so important because it creates that healing, not only in, the people's lives, but also in the communities. It brings them back together and brings the elders on that journey with them. And I think it's a journey that really creates a very deep healing within all of us.
It is crucial that survivors, families, and communities have the opportunity to reflect on what the search means to them and what they hope to accomplish. This requires good communication and taking the time for difficult conversations. Keep in mind that children were often taken far away from their homes. The story of each school and institution affects many nations from territories across Canada. All their voices are important.
I think that it's really up to families and communities to set goals, to ask themselves, what is it that they would like to accomplish through this process? Because the process can be lengthy and painful and expensive and a huge learning curve because there are so many components, I think it's probably a good idea for communities to undertake some visioning. We know in many Indigenous cultures that visioning has always been a very important exercise for elders and community. It is something that we do and that we're used to. So visioning may help to set goals and parameters for this process. I think once you have in mind what it is that you would like to accomplish and take away from this, it's always good to keep culture close, to keep elders and storytelling close, to keep children close, because it is hard. And so I don't think there is probably one thing that a community could get from this. There may just be one thing. There may be historical evidence. There may be new information through ground searches. There may be a new commemorative site. There may be a new historical date that you commemorate in the future. There may just be a new sense of family and belongingness and identity. But however a family or community or nation chooses to approach this work and engage with it, I really see strength that comes from this process. So not just one thing, but many things.
There have been some cases where residential school staff have faced criminal charges. If this is something that communities and families want to see happen, a search process can be a better way to gather crucial evidence of specific crimes. It is important to keep in mind, however, that it can be hard to meet standard of proof required by courts, especially when so much time has passed. A criminal investigation can also have unintended consequences, such as restricting access to the site or limiting the sharing of information while the investigation is ongoing. Inuit, First Nations, and Métis have our own understandings of what justice means, and families and communities may not want this level of police and court involvement.